So hello friends, today I'm going to teach you about the identification tests of the 8 cations and the 7 anions. So let's move on with to look for the identification tests. So my dear friends, to give you an introduction regarding this test for cations and anions, I basically need to teach you about what is a cation, what is an anion. A cation is a positively charged ion and an anion is a negatively charged ion. So my dear friends, in the identification of cations, we are using two alkalis. One alkali which is a strong alkali and another which is a weak alkali. The strong alkali is aqueous sodium hydroxide and the weak alkali is aqueous ammonia, which is also known as ammonium hydroxide. So my dear friends, that is a particular basic introduction regarding these cations and anions, and let's look at our tests for the cations and the anions. So when looking at the tests for the cations and the anions, there are basically 8 cations and it is all listed in this chart, and you could just look at it, glance at it, and I will tell all of it and you could just jot down. So my dear friends, we are looking at ammonium ion. In ammonium ion with sodium hydroxide, it is ammonia is produced when warming with sodium hydroxide. It turns damp red litmus paper blue. And with ammonia, there's no reaction because ammonium and ammonia are both same. Just that ammonium is the ion and ammonia is the gas. Aluminium, aqueous sodium hydroxide. So my dear friends, this aluminium with sodium hydroxide gives you a white precipitate which is soluble in excess, giving a colorless solution. And with aqueous ammonia, it is a white precipitate insoluble in excess. With zinc, aqueous sodium hydroxide is white precipitate soluble in excess, giving a colorless solution. And with aqueous ammonia, it is a white precipitate soluble in excess, giving a colorless solution. Calcium, with aqueous sodium hydroxide, is a white precipitate which is insoluble in excess, and with aqueous ammonia, it has no precipitate and is just, or you could even say that there is no precipitate because it is that much strong, and also it is the only gas, it is the only metal or the cation to have a white precipitate which is insoluble in excess. Okay, then copper, light blue precipitate insoluble in excess. That is with sodium hydroxide. With aqueous ammonia, it gives you a light blue precipitate which is soluble in excess, which and gives a dark blue solution. Chromium is a green precipitate which is soluble in excess, and with aqueous ammonia, it is a gray green or dirty green precipitate which is insoluble in excess. But with sodium hydroxide, it is soluble. And guys, these two ions, cations, are the best to remember. Fe2 plus, Fe3 plus, very easy. Green precipitate insoluble in excess, green precipitate insoluble in excess. And Fe3 plus, red brown precipitate insoluble in excess, and red brown precipitate insoluble in excess. It's like both are same, just the green precipitate and red brown precipitate just differ. Moving on to test for aqueous anions. In test for aqueous anions, this is the chart which I am giving to you. In test for anions, the carbonate anion test is that add dilute acid, and the result would be that carbon dioxide gas is produced. We could even say effervescence and bubble through lime water. It would turn milky or cloudy. And there are 3 anions which have the same test and different results, but similarly alike. The test is add nitric acid or acidify with dilute nitric acid, then add aqueous silver nitrate. Results for chloride would be a white precipitate, results of bromide would be a cream precipitate, results for iodide would be a yellow precipitate. Anion nitrate test is add aqueous sodium hydroxide, then add aluminium and warm carefully. The result is ammonia gas is released or produced, which turns damp red litmus paper blue. Sulfate test is add nitric acid or acidify with dilute nitric acid, then add aqueous barium nitrate, and that would give you a white precipitate. Even if barium nitrate is not there, you could just add barium chloride because barium sulfate is again the same thing. Then sulfite. This is a particularly big one. In sulfide, this is do not mix up sulfate and sulfide. Sulfide is that add dilute HCl acid or any acid, specifically it's HCl, and then the warm gently. A result would be that sulfur dioxide gas is produced, which turns acidified potassium manganate from purple to colorless, and it would turn acidified potassium dichromate from orange to green. Got it, my guys? So guys, that's the test for cations and anions, and we have come to the end of our video, and thanks for watching. It's the end of our video, and so if you liked my video, give us a thumbs up and like, share and subscribe. And if you have any questions, just put in the comment box, and I will make sure to send you a response in just one day. And thanks for watching. I'm Shimran.